while singing in Atlanta temple, Prabhupada started crying. So very emotional. Prabhupada felt this very emotional when he used to sing this bhajan. So let us also immerse in this bhajan. Parama Karuna Pahutui Nitai Gaurachandra. Parama Karuna Pahutui Nitai Gaurachandra. Sabavatar Shadashiromani Kevala Ananda Khanda. Sabha avatar Shadashiromani Kevala Ananda Khanda. Bhajo bhajo bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudrada Vishwasa Thori. Vishaya Chadiya Sira Se Madhiya Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari. Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari. Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari. देखो मोरे भाई त्रिभुवने राई इमोने दयाल दाता. पशु पाखी जुरे पाषाण विदारे শুনি যার গুণগাথা. পাষাণ বিদারে শুনি যার গুণগাথা. পশু পাখি জুড়ে পাষাণ বিদারে শুনি যার গুণগাথা. সংসারে মাজিয়া রহিলি পড়িয়া সে পদে নাহিল আশা. आपन करम भुंजाए समन कोहे लोचन दास आपन करम भुंजाए समन कोहे लोचन दास आपन करम पुंजाए शमन कहो हे लोचन दास परम करुणा बहुदूरिजा निताई गौर चंद्र सब अवतार सार शिरोमणि केवल आनंद खंड हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे 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 राम जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय जय जय प्रभु Prabhuji had told me to speak on a certain pastime. So should I read from the Bhagavatam or what should I do? So directly I can start because the pastime itself is very big. So yeah. So I'll just like to read the translation. Yeah. So I just read the translation. The two lords Nitai Gaurachandra are very merciful They are the essence of all incarnations. The specific significance of these incarnations is that they introduced a process of chanting and dancing that is simply joyful. My dear brother, I request that you worship Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda with firm conviction and faith. If one wants to be Krishna conscious by this process, one has to give up his engagement in sense gratification. Vishaya Chadiya. One simply has to chant Hare Krishna, Hari Hari without any motive. My dear brother, just try and examine this. Within the three worlds, there is no one like Lord Chaitanya or Lord Nityananda. Their merciful qualities are so great that upon hearing them, even birds and beasts cry and stones melt. But Lochandas regrets that I am entrapped by sense gratification. Since I have no attraction for the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, then Yamraj, the superintendent of death, is punishing me by not allowing me to be attracted by this movement. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगनललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरत्विषे नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नहीं अभी डायरेक्ट 5 टाइम चालू करते श्लोका में टाइम ही नहीं इसमें वो डाल दो ना प्लेटफॉर्म हाँ आप बुक ले लो उसको So welcome all of you for today's Bhagavatam class. Today we are going to speak about a very special pastime as we all know that Gaur Purnima festival is coming next week, 3rd of March. We have a series of festivals lined up in our temple from 1st of March. Our Abhishek Prabhu's reel is becoming very famous everywhere. So आइए ब्रह्मोत्सव में देखिए 3 दिन, like that. With enthusiasm, he's inviting all of us to be here and witness the magic of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, आप लोग में से कितने लोग श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु का नाम इस्कॉन से आने से पहले सुने हैं? इस्कॉन के आने से पहले सुने हैं? तो आप लोग भाग्यशाली हैं, हमसे भी भाग्यशाली हैं। ज़्यादातर लोग चैतन्य महाप्रभु का नाम इस्कॉन आने के बाद ही सुनते हैं, है ना। कृष्ण के बारे में, राम के बारे में सब लोग जानते हैं, लेकिन चैतन्य महाप्रभु के बारे में बहुत कम लोग जानते हैं। तो ये एक स्पेशल रीज़न था कि महाप्रभु चैतन्य का जो आइडेंटिटी है वो लोगों से छिपा रहा। इस्कॉन संस्था जो है, जो श्री प्रभुपाद ने, जो आचार्य हैं हमारे फाउंडर आचार्य, ये संस्था ब्रह्म मध्व संप्रदाय में आती है, जो ब्रह्मा जी से स्टार्ट होकर मध्वाचार्य जो मध्व संप्रदाय के हैं उनके नीचे आती है। लेकिन इसमें और एक ब्रांच अटैच होता है जिसका नाम है गौड़ीय संप्रदाय। गौड़ मतलब बंगाल, वेस्ट बंगाल, और श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु वेस्ट बंगाल में उनका अवतार हुआ था। तो इसलिए इस्कॉन ब्रह्म मध्व गौड़ीय संप्रदाय में आता है, और इसलिए इस संप्रदाय से जो लोग जुड़े हुए हैं वो श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु के अस्तित्व का एक्चुअल ज्ञान है, उनका क्या आइडेंटिटी है। अदरवाइज श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु's identity is described in the scriptures as Chhana avatar, a hidden incarnation, covered incarnation, concealed incarnation. आप कोई चीज क्यों छुपाते हैं दूसरों लोगों से? जब उसका मूल्य बहुमूल्य हो, है ना। तो आप आपके घर में जो धन है वो सबके सामने तो रखते नहीं है, मतलब you keep it in a locker and that locker has a special password, or you keep in the bank, gold deposits you keep in the bank and you have a password, locker has a password. Similarly, access to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not given to everybody in this world. It is given to only very few, कुछ कम लोगों को दिया गया है जो इस संप्रदाय से जुड़े हुए हैं, जो इस्कॉन संप्रदाय से जुड़े हैं। और यदि आप उनका चरित्र पढ़ेंगे, चैतन्य चरितामृत, अगर आप ये ग्रंथ पढ़ेंगे तो आपको आइडिया आएगा कि क्या रहस्य छुपा हुआ है। गौर पूर्णिमा के दिन आप लोग उसका रहस्य का और भी अनुभव करोगे। लेकिन श्रीमद् भागवतम में बहुत सुंदर वर्ष आता है, कृष्ण वर्णम तुषा कृष्णम संगोपंगस्त्र पार्षदम यज्ञाय संकीर्तनाय प्राय यजंती ही सुमेध सा। कृष्ण का जो, भगवान कृष्ण के जो अंग, मतलब शरीर का कलर है वो है मॉनसून रेन क्लाउड की तरह, कृष्ण वर्णम। बट चैतन्य महाप्रभु का शरीर का कलर क्या है? अकृष्णम. इट इज नॉट ब्लूइश ब्लैक और ब्लैकिश ब्लू. इट इज गोल्डन. एंड वो किनके साथ आते हैं, उनके अस्त्र क्या हैं? भगवान कृष्ण जब अलग अलग अवतार लेते हैं तो अलग अलग अस्त्रों से असुर का नाश करते हैं. He kills the demons with various weapons, sometimes with his claws, sometimes with the Sudarshan disc, like that. But in this age of Kali Yuga, uh, practically everybody of us are like demonic entities. The demons are right within our heart. In Satyuga, they were in another planets. In Treta Yuga, they were in the same planet. In Dwapar Yuga, they were in the same family. But in the Kali Yuga, the demons are within our hearts, within ourselves. English में एक कहावत है, bad dog, good dog. So the same person can be a bad dog one day, the same person can be a good dog one day. Both good and bad reside in us. Anarthas are residing in us. So, how to capture those anarthas and remove them is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's actual mission. And therefore, he is accompanied by his astra is none other than Krishna's names, Krishna's holy names. He is accompanied by his Parshada, very confidential associates, and their servants. And who are the people? What is the process of liberation? Sankirtan Yajna. For every aspect of liberation, there is a yajna to be performed. So in Kali Yuga, that yajna is called as Sankirtan Yajna. We're coming together and chanting the names of Lord. Narad Muni says, where can we find Lord? Naham tishtami vaikunthe, nayam sadhu hridayeshuva, tatta tishtami nada, tatra gayanti madbhakta. So wherever the devotees of the Lord sing my holy name, there I am myself present. मैं वहाँ स्वयं, जहाँ भक्त मेरे नाम का कीर्तन करते हैं, मैं वहाँ स्वयं आ जाता हूँ. So, and which type of people worship this type of yajna and this type of process? Yajantihi sumedasa. Meda means intelligence, sumeda means good intelligence. So those who are good, having good intelligence, follow this process in this age of Kali. So, in short, Srimad Bhagavatam actually confirms the Lord's mission. And then also in the Vishnu Puran, a beautiful verse comes, Suvarna Varno Hemango Varnangas Charna Angadi Sanyasa Krichamakshanto Nishta Shanti Parayanaha. So here the entire, in one verse, the life story of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is summarized. In the Lord's early pastimes, his complexion is golden. His limbs are the color of molten white gold, himanga. His body is extremely beautiful and he is decorated with sandalwood pulp. He accepts sannyas and shows equanimity. He is peaceful. His mind is always fixed on Krishna. And thus he is nishtha or fixed in performing the great sacrifice of the holy name of Krishna. He is therefore an abode of highest spiritual peace and devotion. So when Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita and ended with Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksheshyam Nasika. The process of understanding, or the practical aspect of understanding Krishna, or uh, you know developing love for the Lord, was given by Krishna himself in the form of a devotee, and that was Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So therefore, if you read the scriptures, you'll find many places, many Purans, and the essence of all Purans, Srimad Bhagavatam, gives a complete description of the identity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What was his role and why did he descend into this world? So, being the time of the Yuga avatar, Krishna comes in this world once in a day of Brahma. Uh, Brahma lives for 100 years. His each day comprises of 1000 Mahayugas, where 14 Manus are divided. Each Manu lives for 71 cycles, 71 Mahayugas. So, in the 28th cycle of the 7th Manu, Vaivasvata Manu, Sri Krishna comes himself. And the Kali Yuga, he comes in Dwapar Yuga, Lord. And the Kali Yuga, after that Dwapar Yuga, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also comes only once in a day of Brahma. Though he is a Yuga avatar, other Yuga avatars are not Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we are very fortunate to be in that same Kali Yuga where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. Other Kali Yugas, there is a separate incarnation of Yuga avatar, and whose bodily complexion is also yellow or molten gold. But this Kali Yuga, it is more special because only once in a day Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes in the footsteps following Krishna to teach us how to be a Vaishnav, how to be a good devotee, what are the characteristics of a devotee. And for that reason, his pastimes are very, very similar to Sri Krishna. If you see the childhood pastimes, especially, they are very, very similar to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. And right from childhood, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made people chant the holy names of Hari or Krishna. So that was his mission. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived for 48 years. The first 24 years he lived as a grihastha, and the next 24 years he remained as a sannyasi. So he took sannyas as an act of compassion for all of us. So once he went to Gaya, and there he took Diksha from Srila Ishwarapuri, and after that his entire life changed. That is the power of initiation, Diksha. Diksha gives you that unique power of getting connected to the parampara, and you have the access and blessing of the parampara on you. We are still the servant, we are still having that designation of Das, but at the same time we have the entire support and backing and blessings of the parampara. So therefore, taking Diksha from a bona fide guru is one of the most important aspect of a sadhaka's life. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as soon as he took Diksha, he transformed himself to a life of a Vaishnava. He exhibited symptoms never seen before in his life. The same Nimai, who was an expert debate person, transformed into a Vaishnava. So at times he used to, Srivas Pandit used to run away from Nimai because Nimai used to always keep arguing. But he was a grammar teacher, very knowledgeable, and he used to always keep engaging in debates. So Srivas and the other Vaishnavas used to run away from Nimai. So Nimai used to tell Srivas, one day you will see that you will come looking out for my association. And this is that day which happened. So when he came back, his life was transformed and he was chanting the names of Sri Krishna incessantly without any break. भगवान श्री कृष्ण का नाम हमेशा जप करने लगे ईश्वरपुरी को मिलने के बाद, उनके गुरु ईश्वरपुरी को। और उन्होंने एक श्रीवास आंगन में, जो श्रीवास ठाकुर का घर था, उन्होंने कीर्तन करने लगे कुछ भक्तों के साथ। और एक दिन उनके मन में ऐसे विचार आया कि हम क्यों सिर्फ कुछ देर के लिए कीर्तन करें, रात को भी कीर्तन करना चाहिए, दिन में भी कीर्तन करना चाहिए। और ऐसे आदेश से वो लगातार दिन रात श्रीवास आंगन में कीर्तन किए। जो लोग उस कीर्तन में शामिल नहीं हो पाए वो भगवान की निंदा करने लगे, कहने लगे कि लोग अंदर कुछ कुछ अलग अलग विचित्र कार्य कर रहे हैं, लड़की लोग के साथ खेल रहे हैं और नशा कर रहे हैं वगैरह। और उनको सिर्फ कीर्तन की आवाज़ आने लग गई जोर से। तो एक दिन, और एक बहुत, भगवान श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु अपने आप को कभी भगवान दिखाते नहीं थे। भगवान है लेकिन कभी दिखाते नहीं थे। और यदि कोई उनको भगवान भी कह दे तो वो अपने कान बंद विष्णु विष्णु करके चले जाते थे। ये क्यों ऐसे है? क्योंकि महाप्रभु दिखाना चाहते थे कि कलयुग में बहुत सारे लोग अपने आप को भगवान कहलाने में संकोच नहीं करेंगे। हाँ, मैं ही भगवान हूँ, मैं भगवान, तुम भगवान, सब भगवान। तो ये बहुत एक डेंजरस सिचुएशन है जब एक जीव जो है अपने आप को भगवान कहलाता है। वो अपने कुछ सिद्धियों के कारण उसे लगता है कि वो भगवान बन गया है। तो ये चीज श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु नहीं चाहते थे। ही डिड नॉट वांट टू मेक वैष्णविज्म अ चीप अफेयर। So therefore, he always portrayed himself as a devotee of Lord Krishna and never as the Supreme Lord. But one day, he was feeling great ecstasy and he decided to show to the world his real identity as the Supreme Lord. And therefore, this Sat Prahara Leela, or of 21 hours, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went into complete ecstasy, and as a Supreme Lord, he started giving Vardhan to devotees. He suddenly took, as the Kirtan was going on, he suddenly took the Shaligram Shila in his own hands. And he sat on the throne of Lord Vishnu. The devotees understood the mood of their master and immediately they called for doing Abhishek. Devotees started rushing towards the Ganga, bringing pots of water, and they were doing Abhishek of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Amongst those devotees, there was a simple maid servant of Srivas Thakur, and she was helping the devotees at the bottom of the Ganga by filling water in the pot and giving them, Abhishek Prabhu, I ask you, tomorrow if Maharaj is here and doing Abhishek, suppose, and you are told to get pots, so will you go and fill the pot and come back and want to do Abhishek yourself, or you give it to Pankaj Gopro? Same thing Dukhi did. That maid servant's name was Dukhi. But generally the mood of all of us is that मैं जाके करूँगा अभिषेक भगवान का, या मैं जाके कोई बड़े व्यक्ति को, we want to portray ourselves. But here, Mahaprabhu Chaitanya used this maid servant's example to show that how to be a servant of the servant. And immediately he asked Srivas, who is this maid servant? What is her name? So Srivas said, her name is Dukhi. So Mahaprabhu said, this name does not go well with me. I will change her name to Sukhi. And as soon as he said that, Dukhi, who became Sukhi, started jumping in ecstasy. Her hair stood on ends and she started chanting the names of Krishna. So, along with the change of name, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave her love of Krishna. Similarly, when we take Diksha from the spiritual master, we get a new name, but along with the name, we get the ability to accept Krishna in our life. We get the ability to accept Krishna Prem in our life. Whether we use the how we use that ability by becoming the servant of the servant is what actually the next journey after Diksha is. Diksha is only the beginning of spiritual life. It is not the end. So then the Lord asked for bhoga. So devotees got him a bunch of bananas, and he immediately gulped them. He did not eat, but he effortlessly gulped them. Then they bought coconut water. He drank all of them. They bought them sandesh. He bought them sandesh. He ate all of them. Rice, dal, sabji, everything Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu effortlessly ate. And he started saying, bring me more, bring me more. In the mood of the Govardhan pastime, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started asking for more bhoga. After that, satisfied, the Lord called for Srivas. He said, Srivas, do you remember the day when you were sitting in a class of Devananda Pandit and you were eagerly absorbed in hearing about the class and you became ecstatic? You started showing ecstatic symptoms in the class, and Devanand Pandit and his disciples could not understand what is happening. Generally, if somebody is speaking and somebody is making some noise in the class, what will you do? You will tell that person to leave because others are getting disturbed. And the same thing happened. And not knowing what ecstasy Srivas Thakur is exhibiting, they just removed Srivas Thakur and threw him on the ground. And Srivas Thakur suddenly, when he opened his eyes, he saw he is lying on the ground outside the class and he felt very bad. So it is said that after that he went back to his house and started reading Srimad Bhagavatam. And he immediately got that feeling of ecstasy again. So Mahaprabhu reminded Srivas, it was me who gave you that feeling again. I could not see you sad, and therefore I entered your heart and I gave you that ecstatic feeling of love of God. Then he turned towards Ganga Narayan Chakravarti, the guru of Nimai, the teacher of Nimai. And he said, do you remember Ganga Narayan? When the Muslim soldiers attacked the village and all of you were running here and there, you and your family were so much afraid that they will spoil the chastity of your family. And you all ran towards the Ganga and you were all looking to cross the Ganga. And the Muslim soldiers were coming close and close. And there was a boat, but there was no boatman. And at that time you prayed for me, oh Lord, please save us. And you were planning to enter, into the Ganga and drown yourself, because it is better to be, to commit suicide rather than being caught by the Muslim soldiers. At that time, Ganga Narayan, a boatman, came out of nowhere and he took you all to safety. Do you know who was that boatman? It was me, he said. I came as that boatman and saved you. So Ganga Narayan, hearing that, he fell on the ground, crying tears of love. uh, and he started chanting Sri Krishna's names. Then the Lord called out for Sridhar. He said, "Bring me Sridhar." And suddenly everybody started looking at each other. Who is Sridhar? Who is Sridhar? Sometimes we know people by their nickname more than the formal name. And what was the nickname of Sridhar? Polavecha. So he said, Lord Chaitanya said, he's Kolavecha, the banana seller. He will be on the banks of Srimanta Dweep. Go, find him. How to find him? So everybody asked. He said, wherever there is chanting of my name, loud chanting of my name, the house from where the loud chanting of my name comes, go to that house. You will find Sridhar. So the devotees immediately rushed, and lo and behold, they found that house from where the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra was coming. Sridhar was so attached to chanting the holy names that he used to not sleep at the night. He used to chant insistently the Maha mantra. So much so the neighbors used to feel disturbed. They used to think that this guy is not, he was poor and therefore he was not able to provide food for himself and therefore he is chanting out of hunger. So they used to throw food. ये ले ये खाना खाओ और चुपचाप हो जाओ और सो जाओ. Don't, at least in the night, don't disturb us like that. So the devotees reached Sridhar's house and they said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is calling you, please come. And Sridhar said, why me? Why is he calling me? And he was surprised. But still, the devotees took him. And when Sridhar came in front of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he fell down like a tree. And then Mahaprabhu Chaitanya told Sridhar, Sridhar, look at me. And immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu transformed himself into Sri Krishna, wearing a pitambar dhoti, his body like a tamal tree, curly hair, red lips, Kaustubha mani on his chest. And along with Sri Krishna was Balramji, like a freshly spring cloud, his body like a fresh spring cloud. And the entire Vrindavan was manifested in front of Sridhar. And seeing this, Sridhar again fainted in divine ecstasy. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started reminding Sridhar about his pastimes as Nimai Pandit when he was a small boy. Sridhar used to sell banana leaves and anything related to banana cups, banana roots, like that. And he was very honest businessman. Maharaj says that he used to sell all his products at the lowest price. Generally, when you are doing business, you always try to sell at the highest price and then you keep negotiating, lower and lower to sell maximum product or maximum quantity. But here, Sridhar used to always quote his lowest price of his product. And with whatever money he used to get, he used to worship Ganga, Mother Ganga, and more than 50% he used to worship Mother Ganga. And the remaining 50% he used to keep for himself. His clothes had more holes than clothes. His roof of the hut had more holes than the roof itself. And he had only one earthen pot as his only possession. And Prabhu Chaitanya's Nimai Pandit used to come. Others used to buy and simply go, but Nimai Pandit used to come. And you know for how many hours he used to debate on the price of banana leaves? For 2 hours. भागवतम क्लास हो जाएगा उसमें. 2 घंटे के लिए रोज भगवान निमाय पंडित श्रीधर कोलवेचे के साथ वो बनाना लीव्स के प्राइस पर नेगोशिएट करते रहते थे कि मुझे इसमें दो, मुझे ये प्राइस में दो, ये बहुत ज़्यादा प्राइस है, तुम बहुत ज़्यादा प्राइस ले रहे हो, लाइक दैट. And Sridhar felt a special joy in losing to Nimai Pandit. मतलब लो प्राइस से भी नीचे तो Sridhar used to say, how will I survive if you take away, if I give you at that price? So Mahaprabhu used to tell that you are hiding something great, valuable in your life. Someday I will reveal it to you, to the world. And also in the roof of Sridhar's house, there used to be a dudi plant, squash, dudi. Correct, no? Dudi. Every day Nimai used to take that dudi and ask his mother to cook. It is said that the last meal which Nimai Pandit had before disappearing from this world was the dudi sabji which grew on the hut of Sridhar Kolavich. And then Sridhar asked the Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Sridhar, ask for a boon, ask me something. Sridhar said, I don't need anything, oh my Lord. Ask, Sridhar, ask. पूछो, कुछ वरदान पूछो. तो Sridhar said, भगवान आप शांत हो जाइए, मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए. अगर आपको राधा गोविंद बोलते हैं, सब आके सपने में भी बोल दिए कि कुछ पूछ लो, तो हमारे पास तो लिस्ट तो बहुत है पूछने के लिए, है ना. तो आप तो ऐसे नहीं बोलेंगे छोड़ दीजिए गोविंद जी, आप जाइए, मेरे पास सब कुछ है, ऐसे तो नहीं बोलेंगे. लेकिन यहाँ श्रीधर was telling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that, oh Lord, be peaceful, don't ask, I don't want anything. He said, no, you have to ask something just to make me happy. I will give you Ashta Siddhis, I will give you moksha, I will give you kingdom. You ask something. And then Sridhar finally he said, if it pleases you, then may I always be involved in that pastime of arguing with you for 2 hours daily for selling my banana leaves. And let me be the servant of your servants. So this again and again Mahaprabhu is showing that the greatest gift of all existence is to become the servant of the Vaishnavas. And what was Sridhar's qualification? He was a simple seller of banana leaves. So simplicity and becoming a servant of the servant are the greatest assets for a sadhaka. So through this example of Sridhar Kolavecha, Mahaprabhu taught us this. Then came Murari Gupta. He said, Murari, come here. And he said, look at me. And then when Murari saw at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu had become transformed into Sri Ram. The color of a dhruva grass, his bodily complexion, along with Ram and along with Lakshman and Sita. And as soon as Murari saw that, he fainted. Again, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shouted Murari to get up. He said, don't you remember when Ravana took Sita away to Lanka and you jumped across the ocean, you went and found Mother Sita and you burned the entire Lanka. Don't you remember, Murari? And Murari suddenly, he saw his body becoming transforming into a monkey, and he saw a small tail behind, and then he saw that he had become Hanuman. So Murari Gupta was an avatar of Hanuman. His house is somewhere close to Shiva's Angan uh, in Navadvip. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Murari to ask for a boon. He said, if you want to give me anything, O Lord, let me always remember you. Let me always chant your names and always stay in the association of your devotees. So many times when we come in front of the Supreme Lord, what should we pray? So the examples of devotees here, we see what should we pray. Let me always remember you. Let me always chant your holy names. Let me become the servant of your servants. Anyone who hears this, Mahaprabhu says, then will get pure love for Lord Gauranga. And he said that Murari means Lord Ram, is another name for Lord Ram. He said, because you are a great servant of Lord Ram and Lord Ram is hidden in your heart, your name is Murari Gupta. Like that. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called for Haridas. Haridas Thakur was born in a Muslim family, and yet he chanted every day 3 lakh names of the Lord. 3 lakh names means 192 rounds. हम लोग 16 माला करते हैं 1.5 घंटे में, और वो हरिदास ठाकुर 192 राउंड्स डेली करते थे. If you calculate, it may take 22 hours, correct? 22 and a half. 24 घंटे में से 22.5 घंटा भगवान का नाम जप करना हम कर सकते हैं. हम उसका 24 माइनस 22.5 करते हैं. तो अपने को किधर से किधर जाना है? वो 1.5 से 22.5 जाना है. So the Muslims and Hindus both were disturbed that this guy is chanting 192 rounds. The Hindus were disturbed that a Muslim is chanting 192 rounds. The Muslims were disturbed that our guy is chanting Hindu names of God. So the Qazi went to the Nawab and complained about Haridas, saying that this guy is chanting, being our Muslim guy, is chanting names of Hindu God. And the Nawab removed an arrest warrant for Haridas Thakur. And then he said, you are a Muslim guy. Why you want to, chant these names of Hindu God? And then Haridas Thakur simply laughed at the Nawab. He said, look at the power of Maya. He said, God is one. He is known by the name Allah. He is known by the name Krishna. He is known by the name Ram. He is known by the name Jiva. There is no difference between them. And he says, even if you cut my body into 1,000 pieces, each part of my body will chant Krishna's name because I am attached, I am attracted to the names of Krishna. And then the Nawab said, okay, if you want to chant Krishna's name, you can do, but don't do it publicly. आपके घर में करो. सबको दिखा के, सबको उत्साहित मत करो. But he said, no, that is not possible. It is naturally in my consciousness. And then he said, I gave you a chance, now I'll give you punishment. And he said, you will be beaten into 22 marketplaces by my guards, beaten to death. And the guards were given strong whips. 2-3 मार में ही चमड़ी बाहर निकल जाएगा ऐसे. And generally, when somebody is given this sort of punishment, 2-3 marketplace के आगे वो टिकता नहीं था. मतलब marketplace माने for example ये यहाँ का market के यहाँ पे मारो, Market, because market is a place where many people come, no, to buy vegetables, grains and all that, that area. So थाना में अगर 22 मार्केट प्लेस में आपको मारने को बोला गया, हाँ, कभी डोकाली में, कभी नावपाड़ा में, कभी इधर, कभी उधर, हाँ, कितना बेइज्जती होगा। बेइज्जती छोड़ो, दो में भी आप बोलते हो कि माफ कर दो, अभी मैं क्या कृष्ण का नाम किया, मैं किसी का भी नाम नहीं लूंगा, है ना। तो हमारा भक्ति, हमारा श्रद्धा जो है वो हमारे पेन, बॉडीली पेन के सीमित ही है, उसके आगे नहीं कर सकते। हमको अगर खाना नहीं मिला, भगवान का नाम तो अंदर जाएगा भी नहीं। हाँ, पहले भोजन फिर भजन, हमारा सिचुएशन ऐसा है ना। हम लोग, हमें इस्कॉन में एक्चुअली देखेगा तो बहुत इट अ वेरी लीनियंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। अगर आप मध्व संप्रदाय वगैरह में, अगर आप यू आर अ पार्ट ऑफ मध्व संप्रदाय, यू हैव टू बहुत फास्ट करना पड़ता है। एक दिन एकादशी के पहले, एक दिन एकादशी के बाद, एकादशी के दिन नो नथिंग टू ईट। हम लोग एकादशी के नाम पे एकादशी पिज्ज़ा सब कुछ खा लेते हैं। तो हम, इस्कॉन इज लाइक दैट, वेरी लीनियंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, नॉट मच फास्टिंग एंड ऑल दैट। साल में 4 या 5 दिन ही है, 3 दिन है शायद, व्हाट इज दैट, गौर पूर्णिमा, जन्माष्टमी एंड नरसिंह चतुर्दशी, बस 3 ही दिन है शाम तक फास्टिंग, बाकी सब हाफ डे है। सो आवर, हाँ, निर्जल एकादश, हाँ, निर्जल एकादश। So fasting is very tough for most of us, but then Mahaprabhu, I mean Haridas Thakur, when he was being beaten, he was praying for those guards, that they are not, same prayer which Jesus Christ made, forgive them for they don't know what they are doing. The same prayer Haridas Thakur made. Oh Lord, forgive them for they don't know what they are doing actually. And the guards were, after 2-3 marketplaces, the guards became tired, and they are telling Haridas, what is wrong with you? Why are you not getting tired? Why are you laughing and chanting the holy names despite being beaten? And he said, if you don't die, we will be killed, so please die. And then Haridas Thakur, feeling mercy on them, compassion on them, he, chanting the holy names of Krishna, he went into deep samadhi, and his body became lifeless. So the guards thought ये मर गया है, तो इसको क्या करें? So they took his body to the Nawab and told, see, we have done your mission, हमारा काम हो गया है. So he said, what should we do with this body? He said, let us bury him. No, he is a Muslim, but he has become Hindu, we cannot bury him. So let us burn him. No, Hindus said, no, he's a Muslim, his body is Muslim, we cannot burn him. So they said, okay, throw his body in the Ganga. So they threw his body in the Ganga. After some time, Haridas Thakur came back to external consciousness, rose from the Ganga and started walking to the, kingdom again. And he went back to the Nawab again. And the Nawab was shocked. Everybody was shocked. And then they understood the power of the bhakti of Haridas Thakur. He said, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, do you remember, Haridas? I was supposed to kill those guards with my Sudarshan Chakra, but because of your prayers, my Sudarshan Chakra did not leave my hand. भगवान अपने भक्त को हमेशा प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं. And when the Lord wanted to protect, the Sudarshan Chakra could not leave because his devotee is praying for, for the guards not to be killed. And then he said, I had no other choice but to become a shield over your body and take those beatings. And then the Lord removed his chadar. Nimai Pandit removed his chadar and showed the marking of beatings. All blood. You could see the blood clotting on the back of the Lord. And Haridas Thakur fell to the ground, weeping and crying, understanding how the Lord is so merciful. And then Haridas Thakur came to his senses and he started glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, how you saved Draupadi uh, by providing her unlimited sari. When Dushashan was removing sari after sari after sari, you are protecting the uh, dignity of Draupadi. You again protected Draupadi when Durvas Muni came with 60,000 disciples in Kamyavan. And when Duryodhan told Durvas Muni to go specifically after Draupadi had eaten her meal from the Akshay Patra. And when Krishna, you came and with one single morsel, you made the hunger of Durvas Muni and the 60,000 disciples go away. So in this way, Haridas Thakur started glorifying Lord Chaitanya. And then he asked Haridas to ask for a boon. What did Haridas Thakur ask? He asked that let me always get the remnants of the food left by the Vaishnavas. They said that three things are very important. Vaishnava Pada Dhuli, Vaishnava Uttishta, and what is the third one? What Vaishnava Charanamrit. The food eaten by the Vaishnavas, the dust from the feet of the Vaishnavas, and the water which has washed the feet of the Vaishnavas. And so, this is the prayer which Haridas Thakur, let me always eat the remnants of the food left by your Vaishnavas. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called for Advaita Acharya. He said, Advaita, do you remember that you are so expert in reading Srimad Bhagavatam and Gita that unless you understand the verse nicely, you will not talk about that verse. And if you don't understand that verse, you will fast. And I used to come in your dreams and explain to you that verse, and then you used to break your fast. So one day you did not understand this verse, that everywhere are my hands and legs and faces. I think this comes in Ishopanishad, if I am not wrong. So in this way, the super soul exists. So Mahaprabhu was talking about a verse which Advaita Acharya did not understand 20 years ago. And he said, do you remember that night I came in your dream and I explained to you the concept of Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Tattva is called as Achintya Bhed Abhed, simultaneously one and different. The example is given as the drop of water from the ocean has the same qualities as that of the ocean. They are simultaneously one, but different in quantity. The Lord is Vibhu and we are Anu. So Anu can never become Vibhu. So he used to always, Mahaprabhu's main aim of taking sannyas was to ensure that the Mayavadis are defeated by just taking darshan of himself or bowing down to him. They get Agyata Sukruti because Mayavadis are offenders of the Supreme Lord. And therefore, the only way they can be, given shelter is when they surrender to a sannyasi. And therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's one of the purpose to take sannyas was to accept Mayavadis in his fold. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Advaita for a boon, told him, ask for a boon. He said, my Lord, you have already given me the boon by coming into this world as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I called you and you came. That itself is sufficient for me. So give everybody without any discrimination love of God, oh my Lord. And that is my only prayer. And then finally, when the Lord was satisfying each and every devotee, everybody came forward. Bahti Ganga mein sab log ne haath dhoye. तो कोई बोले मेरे पिता को भक्त बना दो, किसी ने बोले मेरे बीवी को भक्त बना दो, कोई बोले बच्चे को भक्त बना दो, कोई मेरे टीचर को भक्त बना दो. ऐसे महाप्रभु was, so be it, so be it. He was forgetting one person, but and everybody realized that. Everybody realized, and that person was Sri Mukunda Dutt. Sri Mukunda Dutt was actually the classmate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and both of them were very good friends. In fact, when Mukunda Dutt used to sing, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to go into a trance. And he was a very beautiful singer. So Srivas Thakur asked, because Mukunda was waiting, you cannot go and demand blessings, किसी से आप बोल नहीं सकते हो, महाराज जी मेरे को थोड़ा ब्लेस कर लो ना, सबको दे रहे हो मुझे भी दे दो ना. It is little bit awkward. So Mukunda was standing there and waiting for his chance, but the Lord never called him. And then Srivas asked Lord Chaitanya, why are you not calling Mukunda, my Lord? You have called everybody else. Why not Mukunda? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu roared in anger. Don't take the name of that rascal Mukunda. I don't want to see his wretched face. Mukunda was standing nearby, hiding behind a curtain, and he started crying. He said, Mukunda, you know what he does? He keeps straw within his teeth and bows down to me. And after some time, he beats me with an iron rod. This is Mukunda. So Srivas Thakur could not understand. Then Mahaprabhu explained. Mukunda, in his earlier days, was taking siksha from a Mayavadi teacher. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, as I told you, was to defeat the Mayavadis. He could not tolerate people saying, I am God. And therefore, when people called him God, he used to cover his ears and say Vishnu, Vishnu. So therefore, when out of respect, Mukunda did not, cross his teacher, but he accepted the teachings of Mayavad philosophy. And this made Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very angry. And when Mukunda understood this, he accepted his mistake. And he said, told Srivas to ask, tell him, will I ever see him again? Will I ever see him? And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in anger, he said, I will see him after 10 million births. Thus, 10 million birth के बाद मैं मुकुंदा को देखूंगा. And then what did Mukunda do? He started dancing in ecstasy. He said, I will see. मैं भगवान को देखूंगा. 10 million birth के बाद मैं भगवान को देखूंगा. He got a confirmation that he will see the Lord after 10 million births. That figure was decided. When you are kept, अगर आपको किसी को मिलना है and you don't get an appointment, you are left in the dark. समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि करना क्या है. But अगर कोई बोलता है मैं आपको 1 साल के बाद मिलूंगा, तो एटलीस्ट आपको होप है. So Mahaprabhu gave Chaitanya Mukunda the hope that I will meet you after 10 million births. And hearing that, he started jumping in ecstasy. So Lord Chaitanya, when he saw that, he became very happy. He said, he has so much faith in my words and he is ready to wait for 10 million births. हमारे मंदिर में राधानाथ महाराज से दीक्षा लेना है तो 10 साल रुकना पड़ता है, 5 साल रुकना पड़ता है. आसान नहीं है. तो 5-10 साल क्या है compared to 10 million births. But of course, only the wearer of the shoe knows where it pinches. वो भी है. So as a sadhaka, we should not get discouraged. We should, maybe not this year, but next year. Maybe not next year, next to next year. But you will definitely, if we are sincere, the Lord understands our desires. He will definitely arrange for giving diksha from the spiritual master whom we seek. And there are so many spiritual masters, who do not get connected so easily to the disciple. You know, we all know the story of Niranjan Maharaj, who has never met Srila Prabhupada in his life. Uh, but still, he's one of the most prominent sannyasis who is doing so much for the ISKCON movement. So, it could happen with all of us that it is not possible to get the direct mercy of the spiritual master. Therefore, this concept of servant of the servant is there. So, Mukunda was called by Lord Chaitanya. He said, "Bring Mukunda." But this guy was in his own elements. He said, I will see, I will see. And he started jumping around. And Shiva said, "The Lord is calling you." And he said, "I will see the Lord after 10 million births." And he was jumping up and down. Somehow the devotees caught him and brought him in front of Lord Chaitanya. And then he saw the Lord face to face and he again fainted. And then he said, "Because of your enthusiasm," Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "because of your enthusiasm and faith in my words, I will ensure, all your offenses are removed and you will get pure love for Krishna." So in this way, and finally there was one girl, Narayani, the niece of Srivas. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave her some Mahaprasad from his plate, and in that ecstasy he told her to chant Krishna's name, and Narayani started chanting Krishna Krishna, and her body started becoming, showing ecstatic symptoms. And this same girl became later the mother of Vrindavan Das Thakur, who is the author of Chaitanya Bhagavat. So thank you very much. I would like to end here because always already very late. Yes, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So the entire purpose of this special katha, Mahaprakash Leela, was to show how the Lord, as Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, gave so much unlimited blessings and boons to his devotees. And if we also remain serving in the mode of the servant, we will also become blessed by the Supreme Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Sorry for delay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Navagauravaram Navapushpasharam Navabhavataram Nava Asya Param Navagauravaram Navapushpasharam Navabhavataram Nava Asya Param Navahasya Karam Nava Hemavaram Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram Navahasya Karam Nava Hemavaram Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram